How's it going out there, everyone? We're here doing the Lessons of A Course in Miracles, and we are doing lesson number 74 today. There is no will but God's. I just want to say that I've made a commitment to really not pay attention to the news at all. So I don't know what's going on, but it feels like things are amping up, like something's coming. And whatever happens, I'm going to remain neutral about it, and I'm going to focus on my Course in Miracles journey and be a support to all my friends that are in this community. And we're going to get through this together, whatever comes. But I don't know. Today I'm being told there is no will but God's, so it really isn't my business what's happening out there. All right. The idea for today can be regarded as the central thought toward which all our exercises are directed. God's is the only will. When you have recognized this, you have recognized that your will is His. The belief that conflict is possible has gone. Peace has replaced the strange idea that you are torn by conflicting goals. As an expression of the will of God, you have no goal but His. There is great peace in today's idea, and the exercises for today are directed towards finding it. The idea itself is wholly true. Therefore, it cannot give rise to illusions. Without illusions, conflict is impossible. Let us try to recognize this today and experience the peace this recognition brings. Begin the longer practice periods by repeating these thoughts several times, slowly and with firm determination to understand what they mean and to hold them in mind. There is no will but God's. I cannot be in conflict. Then spend several minutes adding in some related thoughts such as, I am at peace. Nothing can disturb me. My will is God's. My will and God's are one. God wills peace for His Son. During this introductory phase, be sure to deal quickly with any conflict thoughts that may cross your mind. Tell yourself immediately, there is no will but God's. These conflict thoughts are meaningless. If there is one conflict area that seems particularly difficult to resolve, single it out for special consideration. Think about it briefly, but very specifically. Identify the particular person or persons and the situation or situations involved, and tell yourself, there is no will but God's. I share it with Him. My conflicts about blank cannot be real. So for me, in keeping with this idea that those conflicts out in the world are none of my business, I do have a small conflict going on, so I'm going to insert it into the statement here. So there is no will but God's. I share it with Him. My conflicts about trying to transition my cat to a raw diet and he is not having it, and it's like pissing me off and making me upset, cannot be real. Okay, so there you go. There's my issue. After you have cleared your mind in this way, close your eyes and try to experience the peace to which your reality entitles you. Sink into it and feel it closing around you. There may be some temptation to mistake these attempts for withdrawal, but the difference is easily detected. If you are succeeding, you will feel a deep sense of joy and an increased alertness rather than a feeling of drowsiness or enervation. Joy characterizes peace. By this experience, you will recognize that you have reached it. If you feel yourself slipping off into withdrawal, quickly repeat the idea for today and try again. Do this as often as necessary. There is definite gain in refusing to allow retreat into withdrawal, even if you do not experience the peace you seek. In the shorter periods, which should be undertaken at regular and predetermined intervals today, say to yourself, there is no will but God's. I seek His peace today. Then try to find what you are seeking. A minute or two every half hour, with eyes closed if possible, would be well spent on this today. So I just want to revisit this sentence right here. If you are succeeding, you will feel a deep sense of joy and an increased alertness rather than a feeling of drowsiness and enervation. And I just want to caution everyone, sometimes when I get into like a meditative place, it feels like I'm a little tired, but I'm trying to discern and like differentiate between tiredness and relaxation. So I think it's okay to feel that when it washes over you, that you're just kind of like sitting and able to go into peace. It may feel very relaxed, but drowsiness is a different thing. If you start to feel like you're falling asleep, you got to catch yourself and come back and just repeat the idea for today. But yeah, so good luck with that. And I hope that you find that peace that you're looking for. So let's see what A Year of Forgiveness has to say about Lesson 74. There is no will but God's. You are blessed beings indeed. I am that one that you know as Jesus. This lesson brings an important point to your attention. Many of your upsets come from arguing with what happens in front of you, whether it's a war, a job loss, a partner doing something you don't like, or children misbehaving. A constant battle goes on between you and things already in play. So we must go to the fundamental issue here of what is in charge of your world. Well, there are many forces in charge of your world, most of them misaligned forces lacking light and love. So they play out their drama, but they are allowed to. You must remember, this is a place of free will. You have tremendous creative power and free will. That means God allows what you see happening. In fact, God is not involved in most of what happens on your planet because you have free will. Only when you use that free will to step above the battleground and align with love does the connection and communion felt as love, peace, and spiritual connection happen. You begin to actually feel there might even be a God. In the battleground, it surely looks like there is no God. This idea that your will and God's will are in alignment is a very important one because when you surrender to that which interests you, brings you joy, prompts you toward health and love and happiness, then you align with God's will for you, which is happiness and joy, fulfillment, and experiencing that which you wanted to learn about in this incarnation. That is all guided by your interior world, your interior guidance system. The idea of withdrawal now is a very interesting one because that is what most of you have done. You withdraw into the ego's illusory world and do not connect with your true guidance. Darkness and light seem to battle for supremacy. There, the dualistic laws of the lower frequencies apply and appear as a battle between God and another force. As you go down in frequency, the other force seems to pick up more power. This is where the idea of evil or the devil has arisen. But you have merely stepped further and further away from the realm in which God resides, which is love. That is why it's important for you to remember that love, health, and creativity is your will because they are God's will for you. You do not feel conflict when in alignment. You feel conflict when you try to choose between God's will for you and the ego's designs. Remember that. If there is a conflict in the mind, you must look at what you are trying to choose between and ask yourself, which one is God's will for you? Easy, right? Again, the clarification process of doing A Course in Miracles is very important because the ego will indeed try to deceive you into believing that its will is God's will for you. We do not want to belabor this point here, but whenever you have a choice, do not rush it. Go inside for 2 or 3 days in calm contemplation and ask yourself, which one of these two roads leads me toward love, health, and happiness, and which one leads me further into separation and close to fear? I am that one that you know as Jesus, and we will speak to you tomorrow. Well, there you go. There is no will but God's. Seems so simple in these lessons. Good luck to you. Thanks for being here. And I will be back tomorrow. Take care.